Welcome to Off the Clock. I'm Kelle, hairstylist, creative, faith feel, and figuring it out. This is where we talk purpose, pivots, and pressure no one posts. No highlight reels, just the real in between. Let's get into it. This episode of Off the Clock is brought to you by our great friends at Kadari, the complete salon. The ones keeping the girls laid, not stressed. Whether you're overdue for a trim or need you a nice cut in color or a full-blown soft life install, Kadari the Complete Salon is here to remind you this is where healthy hair lives. Tap the link in the show notes to book your next appointment and tell them Off the Clock sent you. Welcome back to Off the Clock with Kelle. This is your host, Kelle, and I hope you all are doing well. Woo! Oh my gosh, happy first episode. Happy Tuesday. Girl, what you doing and what you eating? I hope you real comfortable, and I hope you sitting down with your most comfortable headphones, your favorite snack, and just some time to relax off the clock. I cannot jump into this special Tuesday 6/24 without saying happy birthday to my big sister, Kwanzaa. Happy birthday. I love you so much. You are truly an inspiration to me, and I cannot wait to see you and celebrate you on today. Whew. Now, y'all, let's jump in. Let me just say, I have not been home since Thursday. Baby haven't touched a mic, a planner, or episode outline, but the thing I did touch this weekend was my truth. And so I have been hearing her all week, and she was loud. I'm like, I know I still have to shoot my episode. I still have to show up for Off the Clock and our Off the Clock community. And so that's exactly what I'm doing. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe that this was about to be falling behind. But babe, honestly, I was like trying to outline the whole episode of just when the purpose outgrows the plan, but not make it a thing of like, I'm falling behind. It really was about finding myself and finding myself again in the chaos. I remember early on getting a tattoo when I was young, and it was like, the tattoo says, she found her purpose in the chaos. And at the time, girl, like even 2 years later, I'm like, what the world does that mean? But now, like, realizing that if you're in a room, like, think about when you are out and you may be with a group of people, or you may be with your person, and they say, like, they're talking to you, and the room is just so loud, but you're honing in and focusing on what they're saying. And so finding my purpose in the chaos, in the midst of everything that's going on, was what this episode was going to be about. And I'm like, I need to do it in a way that is me. It's not some long drawn out sad story, but simply about what we know the theme of Off the Clock to be, pivoting. So the old plan, I had structure, productivity, launch dates, content calendars, success on schedule. But like that worked for a while. I still had started to notice like it left no room for my voice. Just tasks. Like I remember even going over like, what's my daily schedule? What's my morning routine? What's my night routine? What are all the things that I want to be able to get done in a day? But I found myself like, oh, I'm checking off all these boxes, but where is the fulfillment and the substance coming from within these tasks? And so that is when I started to realize like, oh, maybe the plan was good. Like, thank you for the plan, because we should always plan, but maybe you've outgrown it. And I think that's like such a scary topic, simply because a lot of the times like outgrowing something or simply growing period can have such a negative connotation, like, oh, I've outgrown that, or I no longer do that. But no, babe, like it's simply just meaning that you're in a space where there's elevation. What used to interest you, what used to do it for you, does not. And there's no problem with that. If anything, I think we need to go back to what I was talking about last week, shifting that view on it being glass half full. Like this could this be a bad thing? Yes. Or could this be a life altering thing, and I could learn from this? So that is simply the ideology that I had tried to start developing. Like this is not fulfilling me anymore. It can't just be tasks. I want to, make a plan where my purpose is starting to align. And so that's why I realized like, ooh, I'm missing my voice. Like it wasn't just burnout. It wasn't just laziness. I missed me. I missed how I sound when I wasn't overthinking. Like I missed how I felt when I was speaking without editing. Like truly, I missed my voice. And babe, she was loud. So getting into that and what that sounded like internally for me was truly just like, why isn't this working like it used to? You know, like you don't even like how you're moving right now. So what are you gonna do? What is the change? Like, can we please do something that feels like us again? And so tying that literally into what I wanted to do going forward, because everybody knows I will give you the shirt off my back. As long as I have a tank top. No, but I will give you the shirt off my back, and I don't mind helping those in need. I truly don't mind helping anyone. And I found that in this walk that we're calling life, I am truly like having it where I want to help people all the time. I want my full-time job to be helping people, whether it's positioning them different, coaching, like speaking from the heart, changing, like helping with heart posture. Like that is something that has been a mission of mine. And so finding that purpose and not trying to gaslight myself out of it was huge, like truly. So I made this space to be honest. Like I was like, I need off the clock. I was avoiding the mic most of the time and being in the scenes because it was going to make me tell the truth. Like, if you know me, you also know that like I play the background a lot. I truly don't mind being the support system for anybody, whether it's a project, whether I'm assisting, whether I'm team support. That is who I am. And I don't mind flowing and assisting and pushing other people's vision, because my mom told me early on, it's about the seeds that you sow. So it's never really about that. Like the harvest, yes, but the seeds that you sow, if you're intentionally sowing good seeds, good things will intentionally happen to you. And so, I mean, at the end of the day, I wouldn't mind being in the background and like, you know, being that person who you could call on. But I knew, and everybody knew around me, like, babe, it's you. You know, like it's you. You're the brand. You need a mic. You need to be on video. You need to do something. But I just was like, I don't know, y'all. Like, I am ready, but it still would be very hesitant. Like with my content, I would find myself just kind of limiting myself at times, just being a little scared. And getting out of that, I just had to like sit myself back. Like, okay, what are you going to do that is going to be purposeful, align with something that's going to make you happy and not have burnout? And that's where, I mean, it started clicking. Helping people. It wasn't about having a podcast. It wasn't about having TikTok, Instagram, a book, a blog. It was simply about, I loved helping people, and I didn't need the cameras. I didn't need I feel like the lights and glimmer that comes with, I should say, humanitarian work. Like, people nowadays use content as a way to exploit humanitarian work. Like, you are trying to help people, and you say live in a purpose of changing the community or changing lives, but you're using your platform to monetize off of the very same actions that are supposed to be helping the next person. And so I wanted to make sure that I was in the right, constantly using my platform for things that, yes, I mean, let's be real, make a bag, come on, but not in a way that would be exploitive, not in a way that wouldn't still genuinely align with me. And so I got uncomfortable and I decided to make that shift. Like, it was really hard losing control, like not even losing control, but releasing it. I like that. And I'm very intentional with my verbiage, because it'll be times where, one, we have to realize that power of life and death is in the tongue. But it'll be times where I think me being in this reclaiming my identity and just living in it and actually deciding that I'm going to contribute to the life that I want in the future every day until then, that I'm going to be very intentional with what I say, what I do, and how I describe things, because it'll be how you, like, you can essentially carry that on, if that makes sense. So just now with saying losing control, I was never losing anything, but releasing it, because having it was such a huge thing for me. So releasing control, doubting what this new path will look like to me, because it was less structured. Like, that was huge for me. I know that in my purpose-filled walk, I still wanted a plan, but outgrowing that plan was huge. It was huge and monumental in the fact that I would have to then rely on what I knew to be faith. This was now a purposeful walk and faith-filled walk, because it was what I couldn't see that I had to rely on. And so that sometimes cause me to miss the old me who was on it but not as in it, Like the player made me look polished, but my voice, she was making me look whole. And that was way scarier, but way more me. Like I was willing to sacrifice what that looked like too, because if we're gonna live in this thing and we're gonna be real and be honest about it, let's do it whole and authentically. So I challenged myself to really, like I said, relinquish all of what I thought my life needed to look like, all of what I thought my plan needed to look like for my brand, what my businesses were, for just everything that pertained to me as a whole, me as a person, what 23 looked like, what 25 will look like, what school even looked like being a graduate of a new class and not a... Let's vibe for a second. This episode is sponsored by Love is Lit, the candle company that said healing is sacred, but let it smell sexy. Whether your vibe is deep conditioning and boundaries or I'm journaling and minding my business, these candles were made for soft resets in real life. Hand-poured, toxin-free, and emotionally supportive because love is lit, and your apartment should be too. Tap the link in the show notes and use the code OFFTHECLOCK for a little treat. Go ahead, light one. You earned it. Allowing that to sit in and kill me was huge because I was very involved in school, high school we're talking, and just having that, leaving high school, going into college, being involved freshman year, my mom getting sick, taking a break, then not going back and taking the time to go back now was like, wow, like don't beat yourself up for it, babe. Find solace in that, lean into it, And so even relinquishing control with that was huge because I was able to even learn in a new way, like releasing the old learner in me and who was always on the work but never in it. Like I would be, oh baby, the work would be in on time, the grades would be there, but are we really taking it in and then applying it? You see what I'm saying? But not just in the sense of the classroom, but all around. I don't think people really realize when they say experience is the best teacher, I think we can take that from the classroom as well. If you're taking something that you're learning in class and you're applying it outside, like clearly, I'm not saying literally, but I mean, sometimes you can, but figuratively, if you're taking that and even thinking about it throughout the day, I feel like that will set up not only a beautiful routine for you, but a healthy habit for you to take things that you learn and apply them going forward, not just take them and have it and don't use it or just not even think about it again. And that's an era that we're in. Content has been so, we just consume. I had to really sit myself down the other day. Like, I'm watching one of my favorite podcasts and I'm like, this is good. I love this. And one thing about us, I want to say us because my people, we always feel like we have to reinvent the wheel. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. And I say that in reference to, I love taking a business model that is working, that has proven itself to be profitable, to be sustainable, and replicated. Why not? There's franchises everywhere. And I sit down and just like artists, just like your favorite rappers, I sit down and I study my favorite artists, and that's podcast artists for me, or just brands or people who I feel like really take control of their full platform. And so I'm watching this podcast and I'm like, oh, this is good. So I get to the end of the podcast, girl, I start cooking. I'm like, and mind you, there's no problem. Like, obviously, like, you're listening to your podcast, you're doing whatever. I started cooking, but I just realized, like, wait, you didn't take notes this episode, like, nothing. Where was the research? So one thing that's funny to me, y'all, is I'll time block tasks to watch podcasts because they're research for me. I'm sitting down and I'm trying to figure out, how do you come in and when you're interviewing people, how do you do this? Or when there may be a topic of this, how exactly are you getting that across to your audience to make sure it's being perceived, not just, just learning different things, like not using just certain nuances that I may know, or just trying to be full rounded and look at platforms that I feel like are perceived in a way that I like. I never look at podcasts or anything really that doesn't align with what I even like. That doesn't even make sense. Truly. So back to the story. I look at it and I'm like, baby, you didn't even take in any of the information. So I'm like, you can't be sitting here trying to have something of substance, have something that's taken in and retained, and you're not doing the same in your life. So that really, like, it put things into perspective for me. I also, too, started reading this book. It's called The 10X Rule. I live for this book. Live for her. Great read. So if the girls are trying to figure out, like, what's something that could possibly shift my mindset, 10X Rule. And I mean, obviously it's common sense, but something that stuck out to me this week that I read was, when you're thinking about like diminishing your effort for something, or like something is too hard, baby, times your effort times 10. So when you're thinking about like diminishing that task, times your effort, times your action, times whatever you're doing times 10. And when I say, my siblings, it's this thing we say put that dog in you. Like, oh my goodness, it makes you want to go so hard. Because like I told y'all before, coming in this and learning everything new, I am constantly learning something to tweak and fix every episode. And I love that. It's allowed me to, one, become a novice of what I'm doing, but two, get in a mindset of like, y'all know I love to learn. Get in the mindset of like, okay, you got a little dog in you. Like, cause when I'm telling you, I'm up to like 2 and 3 a.m. trying to finish an outline, trying to do an audiogram, trying to make sure that my things are set up and scheduled and everything is out. Like, that takes time, and it takes a certain amount of dedication that I didn't feel like I held or possessed before. But it came out, and it came to the light when I leaned into my purpose being bigger than my plan. Like, trying to stick to a plan that does not fit you anymore, baby, it's a prison. Like, it's not even a plan anymore. You're trying to stick to something that no longer fits you, and you're over here trying to figure out what's the problem. Babe, it's giving the movie White Chicks. Let me get my skinny up in here. That's what it's giving. Like, baby, that's not your size, and that's okay. That's not your plan anymore, and that's okay. With your purpose, and then I think sometimes for us as people, it can be scary when your purpose is bigger than your plan, because that's all that you thought of. Oh, that's all that you thought of, and that's all that you considered in not even just your lifetime, but that's all that you, at your wildest point when you were coming up with this plan, thought that you were able to achieve. And so something that sticks with me is God always says, baby, I'm going to do something bigger than you can think or see. So blow my mind, like, blow my mind and set me up and put me in a mindset shift to where I'm already thinking about this as a standard for me. You get where I'm coming from? Like, if I'm in the mindset of blow my mind, the standard that I set for myself will be to blow my own mind. And that was huge for me, because I'm like, everybody's like, wow, you're going to put them out every week. You don't think you want to do maybe once a month, ease into it? I'm like, no, I'm going to do it every week. I'm going to do it every week. I'm going to do it every Tuesday. And that is going to be, it's going to be my audio journal to myself, but also to my testament to this dedication and consistency that I will commit to. Not that I want to do, that I will commit to. And it's been beautiful. It has been easy. Like I said, I am one who loves a task, loves a subtask within a task to make sure that everything is completed for that one, or just loves a plan that I can stick to because that is comfortable for me. But realizing that you cannot grow when you're comfortable will allow you to, like, put yourself in spaces that you didn't even think was possible before. Put yourselves in rooms that you didn't think that you were eligible to be in. Who set the qualifications when God gave you the plan? How they gonna tell you? See what I'm saying? How they gonna tell you that this wasn't for you, or this wasn't how you were supposed to move, or anything, or how it's supposed to go, when they, like, one, babe, you don't realize how big this about to get because you agreed to the first plan. Which means you didn't even know that this what he had for me either. So sit back, Buster, like, sit back. And it makes you just get joyful, because that's where I sit at the glass half full, and that's where I'll continue to lean in. Like, Yeah, my purpose outgrew the plan, and what? You know, what about it? And what we gonna do now? Yeah, like it feels amazing. It feels amazing, truly. So, y'all, if you have been moving on autopilot like me, this is your permission to stop, babe. Not forever, but just long enough for you to check. Check and see if your voice is still there. And does she feel heard? It's okay to pivot. It's okay to pause. And it's okay to come home to yourself. Babe, the purpose will always outgrow the plan because it's going to be elevation no matter what. Next week, we're talking about the version of you that you've been avoiding. The one who was loud, joyful, and unfiltered, because she deserves to come back too. I love you, babe. Thank you so much for sitting off the clock with me. I hope this was everything that you needed. If it helped, if it held you, send it or share it. Till next week.
Artlist.io. Artlist.io.